You're watching the Explosive Exclusive with me and Navika Kumar. Viewers, it's been one of those days that will go down in history. A landmark verdict for a historic public campaign seeking justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. Navika Kumar at 11 o'clock this morning. First to break the news. Navika, this, I don't want to take it away, of course, from the family that has been battling the odds, but a large number of Times Now's own team members have also been working relentlessly to expose what appeared to be serious lapses in the manner in which the Mumbai police was probing this. And the Supreme Court today, by reposing trust or faith in the CBI, vindicating our journalism also.
Absolutely, Rahul, because, right from the time the father first talked about foul play, till then there was no locus standi and everybody was talking about a nepotism angle. Everybody was talking about the fact was that they were looking at insider-outsider debates, but there wasn't any one thing that was really coming out. And, it's when the father first brought up the angle of a possible unnatural death due to other things and abetment to suicide is when we were convinced that something has happened in this case, which is not really adding up. And from that day onwards, we've been following relentlessly every step of the case, the way the Mumbai police had behaved, the way the Maharashtra government had behaved, the way there were evidences that were destroyed, the way everything was being done casually, and the fact that instead of investigating, it was a botch-up, a cover-up, and a sabotage that was being done in Mumbai. And it really caught the emotional soul of everybody, that if this could happen to a boy from a small town, it could happen to you and me.
Absolutely recognized this, saying that, look, prima facie an FIR should have been registered. Otherwise, the scope of the probe is so narrow, it makes actually no difference. The question then comes back to the Mumbai police. Why was it trying to deliberately underplay what many people thought was an unnatural death born not out of suicide, but some other very, very dubious circumstances? Now, viewers, the question has to be asked of the Mumbai police. Will it answer? Will Uddhav Thackeray, that has had a bloody nose in court today? Remember, the Maharashtra Sarkar was arguing its point. Again, the Supreme Court not convinced. I need to ask this question straight off. Will Uddhav Thackeray today take action against the senior officials of the Mumbai police that sat first on request by the family, Navika, for help, and secondly, willy-nilly weaken the probe by not following procedure? Now, I'm being told that the Mumbai police Joint Commissioner is holding some sort of a press conference. We're not expecting any clear answers, but let's cut across for just a few moments and listen in. Nizam bhai, can we go across? Do we have the press conference? 20 seconds. Now we are being told it's 20 seconds, so we are going to go across to that. But Navika, at the end of the day, there is no excuse now why Uddhav Thackeray and his government should not be taking some action against the Mumbai police top cops.
If Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has any moral standing in terms of running a government which is a government that's based on people's choice, then clearly Uddhav Thackeray needs to really give an explanation to the people of India, to the people of Maharashtra who have questioned it.
He's allowing the police force to brazen it out even now, even today, viewers, when the Supreme Court has pointed out anomalies. Let's go straight across.
Joint CP Vinay Chaubey making that statement.
We have received Honorable Supreme Court's order. The order is being studied by our legal team, and we will decide about the future course of action on the advice of our legal team. As I mentioned, we are studying the Honorable Supreme Court's order, and after studying that, as per the direction of the court and as per the findings of our legal team, we will proceed. We will let you know about that. Only after getting the legal position clarified. Quarantine is not a police this thing. You know that very well. It is BMC. Decision is taken about it by BMC. Okay, thank you very much.
So one thing, sir. CBI actually last week
Of course, the Mumbai police wants to now do a head-on-head battle with the CBI after the Supreme Court verdict. Clearly,
it's going to continue under 174 of CRPC. Now, if I'm not mistaken, on one of the last pages of the 35-page order, the Supreme Court, in fact, had thought about this and even cautioned the Mumbai police for not holding a parallel investigation, saying that they must cooperate totally with the CBI. But here, this force seems to have some vested interest, Navika, in staying at some level or the other plugged into this investigation.
Absolutely. The Mumbai police, the Maharashtra government is showing its desperation to stay in this entire probe. In 65 days, they have not converted their inquest proceedings into an FIR, and now they say they will continue to investigate this entire issue under section 174 of the IPC, and that really shows the desperation of the Maharashtra government.
That's the central question. Why is it that they're so scared? Why, like mother hens, are they guarding their turf? Even after the Supreme Court has said that you really don't have any locus standi left because you never really put your heart into this probe. Now, viewers, this is a very, very serious question. And this is really at the heart of the last 65 days. For 65 days, the Mumbai police, and many people are saying, is being led by someone very powerful to bury, to destroy evidence. It still wants to keep its foot in the door, even though the Supreme Court has handed this entire investigation over to the CBI. What is it, Navika, that this police force, this Mumbai police force, thought to be the Scotland Yard of India, fears that the CBI is going to find? That's the central question. That's the central question.
Actually, the Supreme Court judgment by Justice Rishikesh Roy talks about the fact that if the present case is being handed, therefore, while according approval for the ongoing CBI investigation, if any other case is registered on the death of the actor Sushant Singh Rajput and the surrounding circumstances of his unnatural death, the CBI is directed to investigate the new case as well.
Yeah.
It is ordered accordingly. So the Supreme Court is very clear that this investigation needs to go to the CBI, and even if a new case is registered, which means even if the Mumbai police converts its inquest proceedings under section 174 into an FIR, even that case should be investigated by the CBI alone. That is what the Justice Roy judgment actually talks about. And in this entire issue, it also talks about the fact that it is important to keep in mind the fact that public trust and public faith is what is in question, and the public faith has to be kept up and maintained by the investigation as well as by the probe that is for the petitioner too. It will be desired justice as she herself had
Anil
called
Deshmukh
for.
holding a press conference. He's, of course, the Home Minister of Maharashtra. This is the man, viewers. This is the man.
On day one, he said
Absolutely,
it is a suicide.
He concluded. He was even ahead of the Scotland Yard, the so-called Scotland Yard of this country. Now let's listen to him waffle and continue to shield the indefensible, viewers. We've got to listen in. This is the man, Anil Deshmukh, the man who threatens the media, the man who goes out there, attacks individuals in the family and those who are close to the Rajputs, maligns them. Let's listen in.
आणि त्या निर्णयाचं आम्ही स्वागत करतो. त्याचबरोबर जे काही सहकार्य लागेल ते सुद्धा राज्य शासन सहकार्य देईल. एक अतिशय मुंबई पोलीसच्या बाबतीत अतिशय अभिमानाची गोष्ट आहे की या संपूर्ण तपासामध्ये मुंबई पोलिसांनी अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं तपास केला. सुप्रीम कोर्टाने सुद्धा आपल्या जजमेंटमध्ये
efficiently conducted this probe so far.
मुंबई पोलिसांनी या प्रकरणामध्ये CRPC 174च्या अंतर्गत जो तपास केला त्यामध्ये कोणताही दोष आढळला नाही. योग्य
The
पद्धतीने तपास
investigation
झाला.
conducted by Mumbai Police under CRPC 174 found no faults.
ऑब्झर्वेशन आहे.
This is the observation of the Supreme Court.
त्याच्यामुळे ज्या पद्धतीनं काही मंडळी मुंबई पोलीसच्या बाबतीत बोलत होती, क्लिअर कट ऑब्झर्वेशन सुप्रीम कोर्टाने दिला की या मुंबई पोलिसांच्या तपासामध्ये
It's a clear-cut observation of the Supreme Court that there are no faults in the Mumbai Police investigation and the probe was conducted by the Mumbai Police in an efficient manner.
डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर यांनी जी राज्यघटना दिली आहे आणि या राज्यघटनेमध्ये जी संघ राज्याची जी संकल्पना आहे किंवा फेडरल स्ट्रक्चरची जी संकल्पना आहे त्या फेडरल स्ट्रक्चरच्या संकल्पनेबाबत सुद्धा आता जे आपले घटनातज्ञ आहेत की अनेक विचारवंत आहेत यांनी सुद्धा विचारमंथन करावं.
There needs to be a discussion about the federal structure as well. As per the constitution, there are certain norms under the federal structure.
CBIला इन्क्वायरी द्यायची की नाही तो राज्य शासनाचा अधिकार राहतो.
Whether or not to hand over an investigation to the CBI is within the purview of the state government.
सुप्रीम कोर्टाने वगैरे याच्यामध्ये इंटरफेअर केल्यानंतर किंवा त्यांनी जजमेंट दिल्यानंतर त्या पद्धतीचं राज्य शासन जे आता सुप्रीम कोर्टाचं जजमेंट आलं आहे त्या पद्धतीचं सहकार्य राज्य शासन सुप्रीम आपला CBIला.
But now that the Supreme Court has ordered a CBI investigation, the state government will cooperate.
आणि यामध्ये आपल्याला सांगू इच्छितो की यामध्ये ज्या पद्धतीनं विरोधी पक्षाचे नेते या संपूर्ण प्रकरणाचं राजकारण करण्याचा प्रयत्न करते. आपल्याला माहीत आहे की बिहार राज्यामध्ये पुढच्या काही काळामध्ये निवडणुका आहेत आणि हे निवडणुका लक्षात घेऊन काही पक्ष
The politics over this case is being done in the view of the upcoming elections in Bihar.
ज्या पद्धतीनं सुप्रीम कोर्टाने सांगितलं की मुंबई पोलिसांनी अतिशय चांगल्या पद्धतीनं प्रोफेशनली तपास केला. कोणताही
But it's a blow to all those political leaders who have been trying to malign the Mumbai police, because the Supreme Court today has made it very clear that the Mumbai police probe was done in an efficient manner.
असं आहे की माननीय हिंदी
हिंदीमध्ये प्रश्न उत्तर फेरविचार याचिका करण्याचा सरकारचा विचार आहे का या प्रकरणामध्ये?
मी सांगितलं आहे की याच्यामध्ये आम्ही स्वागत करतो आणि जे काही निर्णय दिला त्याचा आम्ही सहकार्य करू.
We welcome the Supreme Court judgment and we will cooperate with the agency.
आपको सभी को पता है कि जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो सुशांत सिंह के केस के बारे में जो निर्णय आया है उसका हम स्वागत करते हैं. जो भी CBI को सहकार्य लगेगा वो पूरा सहकार्य पूरा कॉपरेशन राज्य शासन देगी. उसी प्रकार जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट में जो ऑब्जर्वेशन है उसमें साफ साफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने लिखा है कि मुंबई पुलिस ने जो सुशांत सिंह के केस का जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया उसमें बड़े प्रोफेशनली किया. कोई भी दोष वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में नहीं है. बहुत ही सही तरीके से मुंबई पुलिस ने इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया. इस प्रकार का साफ जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जजमेंट दिया उसमें उन्होंने लिखा है. उसी प्रकार आप सभी को पता है कि परम पूज्य डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर इनका जो संविधान है उसमें फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में जो कॉन्सेप्ट है या संघ राज्य के बारे में जो कॉन्सेप्ट है उसके बारे में जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एक्सपर्ट है या बड़े बड़े जो थिंकर्स है उन्होंने इसके बारे में आगे चल के विचार मंथन करने की ज़रूरत है, ऐसा भी मैं समझता हूँ.
एक पैरेलल इन्वेस्टिगेशन मुंबई पुलिस ने बोला है कि वो कंडक्ट करेंगे. 174 में उनका जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन है वो कंटिन्यू करेंगे जैसे भी है.
जजमेंट में जो जजमेंट ने जजमेंट में जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो जजमेंट दिया है उसमें कुछ पैरा 34 है, इसमें कुछ उसमें उल्लेख किया है, वो हिसाब से राज्य शासन सोचेगी.
बात हो रही है. अरे सर
Well, Anil Deshmukh there completely dismissing what the Supreme Court has observed in para 39, and it has stated here, as noted earlier, as because both states are making acrimonious allegations of political interference against each other, the legitimacy of the investigation has come under a cloud. Accusing fingers are being pointed and people have taken the liberty to put out their own conjectures and theories. Such comments, responsible or otherwise, have led to speculative public discourse which have hogged media limelight. These developments unfortunately have the propensity to delay and misdirect the investigation.
And let me
in
add,
such
Navika,
situation, there is reasonable apprehension of truth being a casualty and justice becoming a victim. So the Supreme Court says this entire issue of the blame game can make truth the casualty.
Let me quote clause 34, because the Supreme Court realizes that there could have been the possibility of a parallel investigation. Let me just read it. As noted earlier, the FIR at Patna was subsequently transferred to the CBI with consent of the Bihar government during pendency of this transfer petition. However, in future, if commission of cognizable offence under section 175(2) CRPC is determined, the possibility of parallel investigation by Mumbai police cannot be ruled out. Section 6 of the DSP Act 1964, read with Section 5, prescribes the requirement of consent from the state government before entrustment of investigation to the CBI. As the CBI has already registered a case and commenced investigation at the instance of the Bihar government, uncertainty and confusion must be avoided in the event of Mumbai police also deciding to simultaneously investigate the cognizable offence based on their finding in the inquiry proceeding. Therefore, it would be appropriate to decide at this stage itself as to who should conduct the investigation, and the Supreme Court has clearly decided in favor of the CBI. So, viewers, the Mumbai police is now trying to create further obstacles. 65 days, did not file an FIR, and today wants to further muddy the waters, Navika, by continuing to put its foot in the door, try to trip the CBI, deny them perhaps the satisfaction of looking at the evidence afresh.
Between paragraph 34, 39 and 41, the Supreme Court has settled this issue of parallel investigation. They have said that even in the future, if an FIR is registered, a cognizable offence is registered, then parallel investigation cannot be allowed. And since the CBI has already registered a case, to avoid any confusion, to avoid any casualty of the truth becoming the casualty, this matter should be investigated by the CBI alone.
Out and out political intervention.
That's
what they will come out and say is that the CBI is saying this, but we have found something else. This shows that the CBI is being pushed by political considerations coming out of Bihar or by the BJP at the center that wants to score points. This is a very, very mischievous attempt by the police in Maharashtra to already begin to cast a shadow, a cloud over the probe by the CBI.
That raises the question once again about what is it that the Maharashtra government and the Mumbai police want to hide, because the Supreme Court is clear. It is anticipating this entire parallel investigation attempt. It has laid to rest and given a direction in its judgment between para 34, where it recognizes the threat, para 39 and 41, where it lays to rest that future FIRs, future cognizable offences will all have to be investigated by the CBI. Now, Maharashtra government is even willing to offend and be in contempt of the Supreme Court to save their own political game plan?
Hide?
What is it that the Maharashtra government is wanting to hide? Why is the Mumbai police
to sabotage
being
the CBI
told along in this manner? Is this parallel probe
from
a
day
decoy?
one, they wanted this to be about two versions, and they are going to push it in this direction, viewers. Imagine the CBI comes in there, it is investigating, it finds certain proof, leads, it goes on to file an FIR or even a charge sheet at a later date, and it comes out to say that, look, we believe this was a case of, let's say, foul play, murder, abetment to suicide, what have you. And the Mumbai police, that which is zero locus standi right now after the Supreme Court verdict, says, no. We found that this is an open shut case of suicide and now the CBI is playing games. Imagine, viewers, how messy the entire affair will be, and spare a thought for Sushant Singh Rajput's family here. Spare a thought for them. Do they deserve this? Do they deserve this?
And also,
do
Rahul,
they deserve this?
There will be people who will have their testimonies to give. Now, people who can actually become witnesses in the Supreme Court case could be taken away by the Mumbai police, kept in safe houses, kept in prison, only so that they are not available to the CBI. And there will be, once again, jurisdiction problems between courts, because the Mumbai police is going to submit to courts in Maharashtra. The CBI may choose to, give it to other courts. And once again, they really want to muddy the pitch. They really want to queer the pitch. And the Maharashtra government's game plan clearly shows that they really want to hide something. And this is a big case. There is a lot of material on stake. And Rahul, I can tell you, the way this investigation is progressing from other agencies as well, very soon we'll have a sensational development. According to my sources, if they are following a lead, and if that lead really fructifies, then we are looking at this case taking a sensational new turn. And Rahul, is that what?
Break that. Sources telling us that the case is expected to take a sensational new turn. Viewers, this is getting big. This is getting big. Inside sources are beginning to tell us that this case, and you will see this in the next 24 to 48 hours, the case will head in a very different direction. And this is the reason, perhaps, why, Navika, that Times Now has been saying that there is definitely someone or somebody who is being shielded, protected. There is some truth that is being deliberately buried. And viewers, Times Now is always ahead, usually, on these news breaks. And we can tell you today that the information that is coming to us is going to really shake up the entire establishment on the back of the investigation. Navika, now you are hearing that this means that there could be something more sinister to this entire case than has been made out to be till now by the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra
There is an angle which investigators are now looking at, which is going to take this case way above just one player. It is looking at a conspiracy. It is looking at a very, very sinister angle to this entire probe. And it is not something that you've heard in any of the theories that have been put out so far. At least the investigations and the direction they are taking. And this new twist could come as early as the next 48 hours, and we could see this case really turning on its head, because this is not just about Sushant Singh Rajput and the way his end was brought in, because now nobody believes that this was a suicide. It is virtually everybody involved in the investigations is more or less convinced about the motive. They are convinced about the fact that there exists a motive, and if there exists a motive, and if there are so many theories which really are not adding up at this point in time, this was definitely cold-blooded murder. And if it was murder, it was due to reasons, and these reasons could be extremely sinister. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy did hint at this when I interviewed him in the morning. He talked about a conspiracy. He talked about a Dubai angle. He talked about the fact that there could have been outsiders who could have come in and be used for this very professional killing. That's what Dr. Swamy said, killing of Sushant Singh Rajput. And he's in the process of nailing some of the pieces. And I'm getting a sense from the investigators themselves that a very sinister turn could happen if the leads that they are following are anything to go by at this point.
This is very big. This is a very big revelation. Viewers, watch out for this. Times Now will be giving you that story. We can't promise whether it's going to be tomorrow at this time or earlier or perhaps a few hours later, but keep looking out for this space. We're going to take a very short break. When we return, Kangana Ranaut speaks to Navika and shares her feelings on this great victory for the public.